Today I have 10 of the strongest fragrances in my entire collection. A few sprays and you're good all day. These fragrances pack a punch, and when you wear them, you won't have to question whether or not people around you can smell you, because trust me, they can. So if you're looking for beast mode fragrances that perform like crazy, then this video is going to be for you. And of course, I got all price points covered, from affordable to expensive and niche picks. So no matter where you are on your fragrance journey, I have something on this list for you. So let's jump into it. What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. I hope that you're doing well. My name is Ty, and here I primarily talk about fragrances, but we also sprinkle in some fashion and lifestyle content as well. So all about helping you show up as your best self, day in and day out, by looking good, smelling good, and feeling good. Y'all know the vibes, man. So do me a favor, if you're interested in those type of videos, subscribe below for weekly fashion and fragrance content. Then make sure you hit the bell so you can stay notified anytime I post any new videos. Okay, before we jump into the actual list, y'all, I just want to set the stage. All of these fragrances perform very well. I'd say a minimum of 8 hours on skin, so 8 hours of longevity. Pretty good working projection for at least the first few hours. They all check the box, all meet the mark there. But I do want to let you know, I do not purchase fragrances specifically for performance. I care much more about how the fragrance smells, how it develops on skin, the quality, how smooth it is, the blend, those sort of things. And then the performance is just kind of the icing on top, right? So that's not my primary thing whenever I'm, checking for a fragrance or, testing a fragrance that way. If it happens to perform well, then it's just a cherry on top. But before anything, it has to smell great and be blended well for me. So I'm not saying performance isn't important to me, because that simply isn't true. When I'm purchasing a fragrance, especially a niche or more expensive fragrance, do I want it to have solid performance? Absolutely. However, that's not my only or primary factor when purchasing a fragrance. So I guess what I'm saying is, I'd much rather have a fragrance that smells great, is blended well, is smooth, and has just solid performance, over something that I don't like the way it smells, comes off a little cheap, isn't blended well, but has beast mode performance. Okay, let's jump into the list, and we're going to get started with one from French Avenue, and it's Vulcan Few. Or maybe it's pronounced Vulcan Fue, not 100% sure, but this one's a clone of God of Fire by Stefan Humbert Lucas. All about mango here, y'all. A very tropical, fruity, slightly fresh, spicy vibe, especially in the opening. But as it dries down, you get some amber, some vanilla. So it gets a little warmer and sweeter, but really all about that mango. And it smells really, really good, y'all. And it also performs very well. So this one, if you don't like loud fragrances, if you don't like people to notice you, you probably want to stay away from it. But the fact that you're watching this video, I'm assuming you like beast mode fragrances. So if you do, and you don't have this one, might want to check it out. Projects very well and also lasts on skin all day. I'm talking 10 plus hours, y'all. I'm a two shower type of day person, so I'm usually scrubbing the fragrance off, by that 8, 9, 10 hour mark at the latest. But this one, I feel like there's been times where even after I've tried to scrub it off in the shower, I still catch faint whiffs of it. So definitely strong, definitely smells amazing, and one that I would consider beast mode. It's Vulcan Few by French Avenue. Okay, this next one comes from Joe Milano, and honestly, a few different fragrances could have fit into this spot, because most of the fragrances from my Joe Milano collection, they perform very well, y'all. They're all Parfum concentration, so they definitely pack a punch, but I feel like this one's the strongest. And it's Game of Spades Gold, which is their take on Bond No. 9's Dubai Gold, which is just such a beautiful fragrance, y'all. The original and this one I like because I do feel like they're very similar. Opens up with this orange and brandy, so it's slightly fruity, a little boozy. Dries down a lot of woodiness, so you get some sandalwood, cedarwood. But then you also get some, warmth as it continues to dry down, because you get some amber in here. So that helps to give it some warm sweetness, and it almost turns a little bit powdery even in a far dry down. So just, again, a stunning fragrance, y'all. I think is perfect for, a special occasion or a special night out, a celebration, if you will. Perfect fragrance for those situations. And y'all, performance is through the roof. Easily 10 plus hours on skin with really good projection for the first couple hours, but more than anything, it definitely acts like a parfum, right? I feel like parfums and Extrait de Parfums, though, they have that higher oil concentration, don't always necessarily project more, but they're going to stick with you. And I think, that's definitely true with this one. So that means, for me at least, the sillage is through the roof, y'all. So as you're moving out and about, people are going to catch whiffs of this thing. Smells amazing. And again, just doesn't leave your skin until literally you're scrubbing it off in the shower. So another great one that isn't talked about as much, but I feel like it should be, Game of Spades Gold by Joe Milano. Okay, from Afnan, you probably know where I'm going with this one. It's Supremacy Collector's Edition. This is their twist of Creed's Absolute Ventus, because this one here is definitely fresher, fruitier, sweeter, and because of that, I think more mass appealing and easier to wear, and also probably brings in more compliments. Smells so good, y'all, first and foremost. Just such an easy to wear, easy to enjoy, easy to love fragrance here, but it performs through the roof. Of all the fragrances on this list, y'all, I think this one might project the most. I'm talking, you know, beyond an arm's length for a while. I'm talking 3-4 plus hours, and it stays on skin all day too. So for the price, y'all, I think it's really hard to beat if you like that, you know, Creed Absolute Ventus DNA, or just kind of fruity, fresh, little sweet fragrances. You might want to check this one out, especially if you're big on performance, because this one blows it out of the water. And that is Afnan Supremacy Collector's Edition. Okay, next up we have a 2025 release that comes from Valentino. It's Born in Roma Uomo Extradose. And y'all, they were not lying about the Extradose part. Before we get into performance, the smell, not anything groundbreaking or new, kind of reminds you of the original Born in Roma Uomo. Also a little bit of Born in Roma Intense in there as well. Slightly different, it's not quite as vanillic, more ambery sweet, but all in all, very similar scent profile, but the performance here, if you're just going to go for one, I would say probably go for this one. Fresh, slightly spicy, warm and sweet in a dry down with amazing performance, y'all. I often tell the story of when I first picked this one up. Bought it in store at Dillard's when it first came out. Sprayed one spray, maybe 2 sprays on my hand, just to double check and make sure I wanted to get it. Made the purchase, and literally on my way walking out of the mall, again, just a couple sprays on my hand. Got 2 compliments, like just walking to my car, right? And again, it smells good and it's a pleasant scent profile, but I think a lot of the compliments with this one comes just because people are going to notice it, right? It's pushing out, it projects very well, and it lasts on skin all day long. So if you're looking for a new one that is fresh, easy, super simple to wear, can really be worn on any occasion, any season, for any reason, highly recommend you check out Born in Roma Uomo Extradose. If you like warm, sweet fragrances, then this one's probably going to be for you. JPG's Le Male Elixir. Y'all, this was probably my favorite from the entire line. Has that tonka bean, the vanilla, it's warm, it's sweet. You also get honey in this one as well, right? Very, you know, seductive fragrance, one that's great for nights out, evenings out, date nights, all of the above. Definitely checks the box there, y'all, and it also performs like a beast. I'm talking at least, you know, 2 to 3 hours of solid projection, but honestly, it has to be more than that, because the thing about this one, y'all, it's highly complimented for me, but I feel like I get compliments, you know, well into my wearing, right? So I'm talking kind of 4, 5, 6 hours into having this one on. That's when most of the compliments start coming. So I do love the dry down. I do feel like this one smells amazing throughout, especially in the dry down, but it just continues to kick, continues to push, continues to get noticed, and I think that's, you know, something that's definitely to be said about this one. So if you enjoy warm, sweet fragrances, need something for date night that performs like a beast, check out Le Male Elixir. Okay, this next one isn't going to be for everyone, but I absolutely love this one, y'all. Comes from Gucci. It's Intense Oud, and I still feel like this is one of the best designer oud fragrances out there, because it's just so well blended, y'all. You very rarely kind of smell, I'd say, the oud or only smell oud. It's just always very smooth, very, you know, masculine to an extent, but also just a very seductive fragrance as well, in my opinion, because there's a lot of different things going on, but kind of what I pick up most to my nose is a, you know, slight fruitiness, of course, in the opening, but as it dries down, it gets a little powdery, slightly spicy as well. Does have this kind of deep, dark, you know, mysterious vibe, you know, coming from the oud and some of the darker notes. But then you also even get this textured feel, right? Almost like leather or suede. So stunning fragrance. I think it's absolutely amazing. It's a masterpiece on the designer side, and it performs very well too, y'all. Another one I have to scrub off on any of those days that I happen to wear it, because it just lasts. Projects very well, but I mean, longevity on skin, it just goes and goes, and literally, like I said, it's a point where I usually have to scrub this one off, but love the way it smells, matches with the performance. Highly recommend you check this one out, y'all. Intense Oud. Okay, just a few fragrances remaining, y'all. We're gonna move into some niche offerings now. starting with Wood Jasmin by BDK Parfums. Y'all, this is a newer one in my collection, but this one here smells phenomenal, y'all. It opens up, it's fruity because you get plum in this one. I think you also get pear, so it's fruity, but it also smells slightly boozy. I don't know exactly what that may be coming from. As it dries down, you get some jasmine, so you do get this kind of powdery, kind of light feel to it. And then in the far dry down, you get some resin, so it gets a little warmer, a little richer, a little sweeter. I actually don't pick up on a bunch of woodiness, though it's called Wood Jasmin, but it smells absolutely amazing, y'all. Another one that would definitely recommend you try before you buy. It's not going to be for everyone, but absolutely love it, and it performs well. So with this one, not so much with the projection. It projects well for the first hour, maybe 2 hours or so, right? Pretty good, standard projection, no big deal. But this one just lingers, y'all. It lingers on the skin, lingers with the sillage, and it just literally, it sticks with you, y'all. It stays there all day long. It's going to be present. You're going to have to scrub it off for sure. And I just love the way it smells, and it's so great that the performance matches as well. So, Wood Jasmin by BDK Parfums. Okay, y'all, this next one I only have a sample of, but man, oh man, is it strong. Comes from Matiere Premier, and it's Crystal Saffron. This is the Extrait version. So, have the sample bottle here. As you can see, still have a lot left. I've only worn it a couple times, but only wear a few sprays each time because this thing is a powerhouse. And in terms of the smell, I don't really even know how to categorize it or how to describe it, but it gives me the vibe of kind of something like BR 540 or even Le Labo's Another 13, but like the cold, masculine, kind of more smoky, version of those. So, the saffron, I feel like in BR 540 is like, mixed with the other things, it's kind of warm and sweet. Here, like I said, much more cold, kind of leathery, kind of smoky, and definitely, like I said, to my nose at least, a little more masculine. Definitely got to test it more, but beyond the scent profile, the performance, y'all, probably one of the strongest, fragrances I've ever tested, because I have to say this one lasts easily 14 plus hours, because it lasted the entire day that I wore it, took a shower, could still smell it after my shower, and then could even still smell it the next morning I woke up. So almost to a point where maybe it's too strong. I know some people don't believe in that, but I definitely do. Nonetheless, if you're interested in strictly, fragrances that are powerhouses, beast mode, and literally don't leave your skin, then you may want to check this one out from Matiere Premier. It's Crystal Saffron, the Extrait. This next one comes from Parfums de Marly. It's one of my all-time favorites. It's Layton. And I know people recently have been talking about the performance with this one. I guess some of the newer batches might not perform as well, but I've had my bottle for probably at least 5 years, I think, at this point, if not longer. And performance is super, super good here, y'all. And this one just smells amazing. I know people always talk about, the different apple pie style fragrances, right? So things like Killian's Angel Share or even PDM's Wojan. I think this is like the fresher, slightly cleaner version of that apple pie, right? So you still get the apple in here, you get vanilla, but you have, just some other fresh components, not as much spice. You still get some woodiness in the dry down. All around, y'all, super easy to like and easy to wear fragrance. And again, one of my all-time favorites. I think it, really also has a lot of, versatility, especially more than I think it's often given. You can really wear this one, year round, maybe with the exception of super high heat in the summer. Just a stunning fragrance that performs like a beast, y'all. I'm talking easily 9+ hours every time I wear this one, and I wear it a lot because it's one of my favorites. Just, pushes out so well, y'all. Get a ton of compliments when I wear it, and I know it's due to partially because of the scent profile, but a lot of that is because how this one pushes out, how it lingers, the sillage that it has, and how it just performs on skin, y'all. I think it's well worth the price, or at least in my situation it is, one that I always have in the collection, and it's Layton by Parfums de Marly. Okay, and last but not least, y'all, from Xerjoff, we have 40 Knots. My favorite from Xerjoff, I have a few fragrances from Xerjoff, and they all perform very well, but I wear this one the most, so I know the performance the best. And in terms of the scent profile, y'all, this one's a little intriguing. They don't release the actual notes from, any of the fragrances within the Join the Club collection, but I think they just give, kind of accords, if anything. But what I get from this one, 40 knots, you think something, oceanic, aquatic even. I don't get this at all. I get something that's kind of, breezy and airy, of course. I always say this one reminds me of a warm ocean breeze. So definitely it kind of has a freshness in the opening, maybe slightly blue. But then as it dries down, I get something that's warmer. I get something that maybe has some amber, potentially some honey, that type of sweetness versus maybe something that's, tonka or vanilla heavy. And it gets powdery as well, like a powdery woody vibe. So very, very nice fragrance, one that I think is extremely versatile. I think you could wear it year round because of the scent profile, but also because of the performance. This one, y'all, it just doesn't leave the skin. It's on your skin all day. It's one that even after you shower and scrub, I feel like I still catch whiffs of this one. So oftentimes when I wear this one, I'll make it just kind of my signature scent for a few days or for the week, because it's like, even after you shower, get up the next day, I feel like I'm still catching like faint whiffs of it, right? So that's often how I do with this one. But smells absolutely amazing, quite unique, still very versatile, but it's an absolute powerhouse from Xerjoff 49s. Be sure to like and subscribe if you found this video valuable, and leave me a comment below. Let me know what are some of your favorite beast mode fragrances.